Good evening. Good evening, and welcome back to another Sunday night edition of Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Let me begin by apologizing to those of you who are waiting for this to begin at 8:15 tonight. I ran into a couple of snafus. It happens sometimes, but we are here. So thank you to those of you that were waiting for this one to begin. I got one for y'all tonight. What I saw in the sky that night shocked the heck out of me, okay? I want to get into that with you guys, but before I do, y'all know how I like to do over here. I like to start off with some with a little bit of upbeat music to kind of get this party started. So I'm going to play a little bit of, and we'll see. I mean, if you guys are watching this on demand and we cut right to the content and there's no song, it means that YouTube had some copyright restrictions that required me to cut the song out. However, if you still hear it, then you're going to hear a little bit of, I'm going to play about maybe 5 minutes of a classic by the Ricky Dillard Chorale called Keys to the Kingdom. And my favorite part is the bridge when they start saying, can't you see the signs of the judgment? All right. Because for those of y'all that saw the thumbnail, I'm going to start by reading that passage of scripture from the book of Genesis. And for those of you that still think here in the age of Aquarius, here in 2025, that somehow sky gazing and looking for signs and messages in the stars and reading natal charts is somehow evil. All right, that one's for y'all. But let me play a little of this Ricky Dillard, and we're gonna get this party started, family. Thank y'all for being here tonight. You're watching Maddie's Rap with author and storyteller Matt D. Talford. Stand by. All right, give me this. All right, let me switch and let's give me some volume here. And I'm gonna play about 5 minutes of this song, y'all, while we wait for some people to come in. Okay, here we go. Now, from their album The Promise, Keys to the Kingdom. All right, let's take that on down. Let's take it on down. All right, we got that out of the way. And yeah, hot shot every now and then. I put a straight razor on my face every now and then. I don't, when I was in the Army, I had a little issue with razor bumps. So I'm very careful with the razors. I usually use the clippers. I get the clippers real tight in there, but the clippers don't clean it up as much. So every now and then I'll put a straight razor on there just when I want to line it up real good, But y'all, thank y'all for being here tonight. Thank y'all for being here. Like I said, I don't have a lot of content tonight, y'all, but I gotta tell y'all about what I saw in the sky on Friday night, y'all. But before we get to that, I want to begin by asking a question to y'all, because I know it can't just be me. All right. I know it cannot just be me. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all are noticing any, I don't even really want to say retrograde, family. If y'all are noticing any turn back type of energy out there, y'all, like, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. These past couple of days, y'all, I've been dreaming about my hometown of Long Beach, New York, where I grew up, where I was born and raised half of my childhood. I spent the other half of my childhood down south, but I've been dreaming about my old residence, okay? And then yesterday, I just felt I was in this nostalgic energy, so I was out there pulling up some old walking tours of my old hometown, and just, guy walking with a camera, talking, narrating, going down the boardwalk, going down Park Avenue, different places I used to ride my bike and walk with my friends and my cousins and such when I was little, different areas that we used to drive in and out of town in, and, the McDonald's on the east side that we used to go to when we were younger, and all of this stuff, just in this reflection type of energy. And it's been really nostalgic. And then today, shout out, I forgot who told me to do it, but shout out and chime in the chat if that was you. Shout out to the subscriber that told me to watch that the Transformers movie, that latest Transformers movie, Rise of the Beast. I saw that today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, that was more reflection type energy, because this was the setting in it was the 1990s, and they're playing the rap music and whatnot, the music we used to listen to back in the 90s, and it was set in New York. So I'm like, could this be us picking up on the energy of the prophetic scriptures that talk about the turning back and the calling again of, or the calling back of the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Y'all, I gotta think that's a fraction of it, y'all. I have to think that's a fraction of it because there is too much. So y'all let me know in the chat if y'all are feeling any nostalgia lately. If any of y'all have been feeling any nostalgia, any of you been having any vivid dreams, any of you been dreaming about your childhood perhaps, or people from your past showing up in your life. Y'all let me know. Bernadette said, I dream about my old home a lot and also the church I used to attend. For some years, I had a feeling my life is about to come full circle. Yo, that's a whole word right there, Bernadette. And I feel like that's happening. It's almost like going on a long journey and coming back home. It's almost like, for those of y'all that ran track and ran distance, I mean, first of all, to the people, the sprinters, the people that ran 100, the 200 and the quarter, I salute you. That wasn't that speed like that was not my gift. And there's a difference between quickness and speed. I'm quick, but the speed, I didn't have that speed. He didn't give me that speed gift. But what he did give me was that endurance gift. So I ran further distances. I ran the 800 meters in high school. And then, of course, in the Army, we had part of our qualification for the PT test was a 2-mile run. So I was always running 2 miles, 3 miles, 2 miles, 3 miles, getting in shape and getting that conditioning up to try to bring that 2-mile time down for the PT test. So, yeah, I ran a little bit more distance. But when you're on that track doing that 2 miles, it is the most boring 2-mile run ever because you got to run 8 laps. And y'all know, when you run them 6 laps and you got that last 800 meters and you start, it's like, okay, I got one more lap left. You start to feel it. Or for those of y'all that run those courses, if you're running a 2-mile, mile and a half, 2-mile, 3, 4, 5-mile course, and it's like a circuit and you're starting to come back home, everything is feeling like it's coming back, y'all. And I don't know if it's just me, but thank you for sharing that, Bernadette. I got to think that it's got something to do with the energy in the atmosphere right now. So let me check my notes here and make sure I'm not leaving anything out because I know that, yeah. Okay, yeah, I know I got some just what I'm going to talk to y'all about, what went down, what I saw, and then how that unfolded, okay? And then at the end, I think y'all remind me because this is not my notes. That's actually negligent, Matt. I can put this in the notes. Let me do this. Let me write it down. Zeph, I'm going to review Zeph 3 and Joel 3 because I think there's some messages in there with regards to this reflection and nostalgia energy that is in the air, y'all. Something big is on the horizon. I don't know what it is. I can feel it. The energy has been semi-heavy the past couple of days. I can remember, what was it? Yesterday I was kind of tired all day. And then today I had a lot of energy, but the reflection energy, y'all, for the last 3-4 days has been off the charts. So now let me get into, I don't want to hold y'all any longer. I want to jump right into it. And I might even surprise myself with how short this video is going to be tonight. I don't know. What's up, Lady Dagger Status? Thank you for joining. And you're right on time. So thank you for joining. So let me get into this, y'all. Let me tell y'all what happened. So it's Friday, and my dog, dogs are cool. Canines are cool. They're very spiritual animals too. Some of our spirit guides, y'all hear me talk about angels, ancestors, and spirit guides. Sometimes spirit guides come in the form of animals. Someone shared with me a video on Instagram where this lady was talking about her dad passing away, and his name is the grandchildren used to call him Grandpa. His name was Al, but they couldn't say Al, so they called him Grandpa Owl. And when he passed away, y'all, you know what? I got time, y'all, because I don't have a super whole lot of content. What's up, Shalom there, Capri 10? Thank you for joining. I might have time to show y'all this real quick because I don't have a whole heck of a lot of content tonight. So let me show y'all this maybe as an undercard really quick to talk about spirit guides, because sometimes spirit guides are animals. Sometimes different birds show up. If you see an animal show up in your life that you've never seen before and it just seems a little bit odd, look it up. Go Google or your favorite search engine. I don't typically use Google. I'm a DuckDuckGo guy. Sometimes I use other things. Google's like, that's the last one I use, to be honest with you, because they doing too much right now anyway. But yeah, I just saw something disturbing. Instagram always showing you something low vibration. If you ain't careful, you got to slide past it. But anyway, yeah, if you see something show up, a strange bird that you've never seen before, type in what you think that bird is or whatever. If you identify that bird, type in that and then spiritual meaning of, and there might be some messages in there for you. I saw a particular, and I'm trying to stay confidential because I know I got ops watching me all the time, and I ain't trying to give y'all nothing but a couple of birds, and I'm not gonna put it on the screen because I know I got some youngsters watching, and I want to be an example, okay? But I ain't talking about the birds with wings either. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So that's for the ops that watch me in the background, secretly wishing negativity and watching it blow up in their face. I don't know why y'all still doing that at this day and age. But anyway, if a certain color cat shows up in your yard, type in the color of that cat and spiritual meaning. If a certain rabbit of a certain color shows up in your yard, type in that color, that animal, and then that meaning. If it's a bird, if it's you see some crows, you see some owls or whatever, just type it in, because I'm telling you, for whatever you're going through in your life at that time, that animal is probably showing up to give you a message and you don't even realize it. I can't tell you how many times I've been going through something, or I have a certain thought in my mind, or just something I'm working on in my head, and then boom, a hawk will show up. I'll see a hawk in the sky, and I'm like, okay, that's my confirmation. So I'm just throwing some tips out there for y'all. But yeah, animals can be spirit guides too. And let me see if I can't find this really quick with this owl, y'all. And I'm gonna share this with you, and then we're gonna get on into the meat of it, because y'all know I like to give y'all a little appetizer before we get into the main event. So let me see if I can't find this. Give me 1 minute here. Give me 1 minute, fam. Hang on. Where is this thing with this little owl? If I can find it. If I can't, then I can't. Where is it? Let's see. It's not that far back. It can't be. Hang on. Stand by. I'm gonna pull this up for y'all. Okay. Thank y'all for being here tonight, by the way. And if you haven't done so already, y'all know the drill. Do me a favor and tap that like button, because it's going to give me it's going to let more people know that we are live and in living color. And for some reason that's not showing up. So I'm not going to unless there's one more place I can look here. Let me see. No, that's not it. 1 second. Let's see. That's not it. That's not it. Let's see. There it is.
This is Lindsay's story of connection.
Okay.
With Dad Owl.
Okay. Let me go here. Hang on a second here. All right. So let me turn this. Let me give you some volume here, and I'm gonna show y'all this. Okay. Let me turn it up.
6 weeks. This is Lindsay's story of connection with her dad, Owl. The small kids in his family had a hard time pronouncing the word owl, so they called him Grandpa Owl. That was forever his nickname. In fact, in 2023, when he passed away, he was buried in a shirt that said Grandpa Owl. This shirt. 3 months after he passed, Lindsay got a really bad sunburn. So she was up all night. She was hurting from the sunburn. She's hurting from missing her dad. She went outside at 2 a.m. and in the middle of the night, she's bawling her eyes out, and she just said, "Dad, I need a sign from you." She looks up and sees a baby owl staring back at her. She just knew in that moment that that was a message from her dad. But that's not where it ends. So in a house that she'd lived in for 19 years, and she had never seen an owl before, for the next 3 months, her home became an owl sanctuary. And every single night, she would see 3 to 5 owls on average in her backyard. Here's some footage. She said this helped her so much to know that her dad was there with her and that he was orchestrating this whole thing. She had no doubt. As her heart healed, the owls stopped coming. Now, last October, she moved from this home in Seattle to a new home in LA. And 1 month ago, she looked out her window and guess what was looking at her? You guessed it, an owl. She didn't get a picture of that one, but she knows that her dad is still with her. It doesn't matter what house she lives in or where she goes, he's always going to be right by her side. That's what our loved ones want us to know. They are always right by our side, supporting us and loving us in everything we do, even after they pass away. Thanks for sharing your story, Lindsay. This is Lindsay's story of connection with her.
That, y'all, and shout out to that subscriber that shared that video with me. That I'm here to tell y'all. Listen, a lot of people that are not spiritual and are super religious, they will say stuff like that is a coincidence, or well, we're not supposed to be looking at anything, or we're just not supposed to be looking at anybody. But the Most High, like, it was, somebody put it in the comments. Was that the book of Samuel where the donkey spoke to that rider that was trying to make it go through the path where an angel was guarding, like an angel with a flaming sword or something like that was guarding this pathway, and the donkey spoke to the person, was like, look, I done told you, I done tried to show you 3 or 4 times we ain't going that way, okay? You can't see that angel there. If you want to go tangle with that angel, go by yourself, basically. I'm not going. You get off. This is where you get off. This is your bus stop. Get off here. So anyway, I wanted to share that. I know I kind of took y'all around the block to get you to the house next door. That's what I do. But animals sometimes, y'all, can be messengers as well. And so the funny thing about my dog is sometimes, let me switch my mic over. The funny thing about my dog is sometimes the timing of his wanting to go outside is impeccable, because when it's at nighttime, I typically will see something. If it's in the daytime, I'll go out there and there'll be like a hawk sitting in the tree or something. So it's amazing. It's almost like they communicate with him to tell me to come outside because there's something I'm supposed to see. So on this Friday night, I go out and there, I'm like, all right, dog's doing his thing. He ain't ready to go back in yet. So I'm like, all right, so maybe there's something I'm supposed to see out here. And I'm a sky watcher. I'm an avid sky watcher. I've been a sky watcher since I was a child. I've been fascinated. Astronomy was one of my favorite subjects when I was in elementary school. I loved learning about the planets, even though I don't buy into any of that Ranger 1 and Voyager 1 and all of that other stuff anymore. Yeah, I said that. Yeah, firmament. Firm. Unless you know what a door is to get out. All right, that's a story for another day. So anyway, like that phony flight they just had where the Katy Perry opens from the inside a little bit too quick, and the girl's like, "You're not supposed to open the door yet, Katie." And the door closes. I know y'all saw that video. If not, it's been trending on social media for a couple of days. But anyway, I'm getting off in the weeds. So I've been an avid sky watcher for years. I just love watching the sky. I like to see if I'm going to see a meteorite or a light ship. Now we've been seeing a lot of those lately, so I'm always watching to see if I'm going to see some movement up there, and I'm just fascinated by it. And so on this particular night, y'all, I look up, and here's the meat. Here's the meat. Matter of fact, let me make sure I didn't. Y'all don't need to see. I'm gonna skip the. I'm gonna skip the ad. I mean, not ad. I'm gonna skip the description box copy because I'm already in it. So I'm looking up, and y'all, I know where all of the constellations are based on what time of night I'm out there. I know what constellation is relative to which corner of my house, what direction in the sky, all of that stuff. So I know where Orion is easy to anybody that sky watches knows Orion. That's an easy one to see. The Big Dipper, aka Ursa Major. I know all of those constellations. I've been looking at them for years, and I'm fascinated by them. So I'm looking up, and I see Jupiter. Those of y'all the sky watch, y'all know what Jupiter looks like, okay? The 3, just as a quick point of reference, the 3 brightest stars in the nighttime sky. Venus, number 1, far and away. Venus, the so-called planet, even though I like to look at them as energies, not as planets the way they taught them to us in school, because you can't land on it. It's an energy, okay? It's pulsating energy. It's light energy. They're lights. That's what the scriptures call them. Matter of fact, you know what? I was supposed to start with that. Let me go back there. I got off track. Let me start with that. Y'all, we're going to take a commercial break. I'm going to bring this up and jump it around a little bit, but y'all stick with me. Y'all know what it is over here. Y'all already know. Let's see. I'm going to bring this up on the screen. Let's share it. And let's make sure it's sharing to the screen. There we go. Good. Okay, this is Genesis chapter 1, verse 14 from the King James Version. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Okay, so these lights, these constellations, these so-called planets, the sun and the moon, he said, this is what you use them for. Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. We got that part. That's easy. And let them be for signs, right? And for Capricorn is a sign, right? Let them be for signs, but there's other signs too. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. For signs and for seasons and for days and for years, okay? So Just wanted to share that. So y'all know, again, back on my point, Venus is far and away the brightest star in the sky. Venus, during certain times of year when it comes out just before dawn, or it's out like maybe an hour or so before the sun rises, Venus is the only star that is still visible in the sky when the rest of the stars disappear, because the sun is so much brighter. The sun overpowers the other stars. Okay. But Venus is the one that you can see for about an hour to an hour and a half if your naked eye is strong enough. And even if your naked eye isn't strong enough and you got a telescope or a high powered lens, you can still see it. It's faint, but you can still see it. That is how powerfully bright Venus shines. Okay. I think the only other thing in the sky that's brighter than Venus is the moon. Okay. That's it. The moon you can see all day during the day when the sun's out, depending on what the moon cycle is. But there's Venus. Then you got Sirius and Jupiter are right at around the same, I would say, lumens. They're right at around the same brightness. Jupiter is bright. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. It's not as bright as Venus. Venus, literally, if you stare at Venus in the nighttime sky, it looks like an airplane coming toward you that's not moving. That's how bright that light is. Like the first time I ever really paid attention to Venus and I got an app you can probably download on your phone called Skywatch. That's what I use sometimes when I want to identify what a star is that I don't know. It'll bring up some information about that star, and then I can go research it and see what it is, see what the mythology of it was, all that other stuff. But the first time I ever really paid attention to Venus, I was like, what is that? Is that a plane? Why isn't it moving? And that's when I downloaded the Skywatch app and realized that was Venus. So it's far and away the brightest one. But then you got Jupiter and Sirius. I would say that some people say Sirius is brighter. Other people say Jupiter's brighter. I guess it depends on who's looking at it. But they both are very bright stars in the nighttime sky. And the biggest difference that I've seen is that Sirius shimmers like a diamond. It does. Sirius looks like a diamond that somebody, like a huge rock somebody got after just getting engaged, freshly polished, all that other stuff. And it's just sitting there shimmering and changing colors. That's Sirius. Jupiter doesn't shimmer like Venus, but is bright. And if you ever were to zoom in, you had a high-powered zoom lens, and you take a photo of Jupiter, Jupiter is called the planet of, it's the energy of expansion, the energy of luck, the energy of abundance. The funny thing I noticed about Venus, y'all, I'm not Venus, Jupiter, and I'm not going to go downstairs to get my camera and cycle through my SD card to try to find it. But the thing I noticed with my naked eye after shooting a picture of Jupiter and then looking at it in my viewfinder, the photo pulsates. I kid you not. I kid you not. The image of Jupiter pulsates in that viewfinder on the, on the screen there, on the LCD. LCD is a better word, not viewfinder. Viewfinder is the little thing. The LCD. The image of Jupiter pulsates. It's that energy. It's like this. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. But anyway, so what's different about this particular night? And I know I took y'all all the way through the neighborhood, showed you the park, all that other stuff. Let me get you next door now, because that's where the food is. All right. Jupiter being as bright as it is, and me knowing where it is in the sky based on the time, I'm like, because usually right after sunset, relative to where my house is, Jupiter is in the eastern sky. It's in the east. Is that east, northeast? That's right. It's almost like due east. Jupiter comes up in the eastern sky. If not due east, then it's like east northeast, but it's in the eastern sky. Well, by this time, Jupiter had cycled and made its way around to where it was in the western sky. And y'all, Jupiter started going dim. And I was looking at it. I'm like, is that Jupiter? So I'm like, well, maybe there's a cloud in front of it. Maybe there's like a little faint cloud that moved in front of it. But I'm looking at the rest of the stars around Jupiter, and none of them there's no clouds in the sky. The sky's clear. So I'm like, so then I look over, and Sirius isn't too far away from Jupiter in the nighttime sky. So I'm looking out, I look over at Sirius, and Sirius is doing what Sirius is doing. It's doing what it does. It's shimmering. So I'm like, are my eyes deceiving me? Like, y'all, it was so faint and dim that I didn't think it was Jupiter. So I went back into the house and got my cell phone, and I came out and I opened up Skywatch and trained it to that position in the sky. And lo and behold, it was Jupiter. And I watched it. I moved my phone out of the way and I watched it go even dimmer. It was so dim that it was right at around the brightness of Mars, and Mars isn't all that bright. In fact, it got cloudy looking. It was like a faint. It got really faint, and then it lit back up just a little bit, but it wasn't its normal brilliance. And I said, that's got to be a bad omen. That has got to be an omen. That has got to be a bad omen. So now, for my astrologers watching, y'all know what Jupiter represents. Jupiter is about gifts. It's about benevolence. It's about abundance. It is about luck by some accounts. Okay. Jupiter is where your blessings come in. Okay. In your natal chart, Jupiter represents the areas of your life that you are gifted in. For example, I'm a Jupiter in Capricorn. My Jupiter is in that. That means I'm a gifted problem solver. I'm a gifted achiever. If you put it in front of me, I'm gonna solve it eventually. I may do it quickly. It may take me a little bit longer, but I'm going to knock it out. And there's never any doubt in my mind because that gift has not failed me. Some of you have Jupiter in other signs. Okay. I won't even go through all of them because this is not an astrology video. So I won't go through all of them. But your Jupiter sign and your Jupiter house talk about where you are gifted. I'm a Jupiter in Capricorn in the 3rd house. So I'm gifted with communication. I'm a gifted learner. I was a gifted student in school. I was in a gifted and talented program in early on in elementary school. That has everything to do with the energy that was infused in me at birth. Okay. So Jupiter is all about gifts. It's all about abundance. It's all about luck. It's about blessings. For Jupiter to go dim like that, I'm going to tell y'all the first thing that came to my mind. I said, somebody's luck is running out. Somebody's luck has run out. At first, I was like, somebody's luck is about to run out. But then I was like, somebody's luck has run out. Now, y'all remember the scripture. I think this is just the beginning, y'all, because y'all remember the scripture where God said, he said, this once I'm going to show you who I am. Let me pull that up real quick because that comes from Jeremiah, the 16th chapter, and I believe the 21st verse. Y'all, we've been talking about this stuff for the longest, and now we are seeing it. It's happening, y'all. It is happening. Let's go to Jeremiah 16. I normally start with 19, but I'm going to read it anyway. Oh, Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge, period. Y'all know. Y'all already know there should be a period there. In the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? Y'all see what they're doing out here. They building, they making all kind of stuff. It's crazy what they're doing right now. Verse 21, therefore, behold or look, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall all know that my name is, and it ain't the Lord. That would have originally said Yahweh or YHWH. Okay. They took that out of the Bible. They did a mass edit, but that would have originally said YHWH. Okay. Now he said this once, I will cause them to know my hand and my might. That comes in the same chapter, y'all. I broke this down last week where it said in verse 14, behold, therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands where he had driven them. And I will bring them again into the land that I gave their fathers. Where is that land? There's a lot of dispute about that right now. I'm not getting into this dispute piece of it. But again, he said this once, I'm going to let them know. And y'all know what I said at the end of that other video. Oh, by the way, if you're new to my channel and you think that because I'm reading scripture, I'm a Christian, think again. I'm not. I do not wear those labels anymore. I'm neither Christian, Judeo-Christian, Muslim. I'm non-religious. I am not religious. But the Bible and the ancient texts from which it was derived are not religious. Okay. They were not intended to be. They were spiritual texts that were hijacked by the religious establishment and rebranded and refashioned and redoctored into the doctrine of control. Maddie ain't controlled anymore. That's why I don't now somebody invites me to their church service, I'll go. If it's somebody I know, I'll go to it because I'm not like that. I came up in church. Okay. So I'm not averse to going to church, but I'm not affiliated with anybody's ministry. I'm not in anybody's church. None of that. Okay. I break down these scriptures and I show you how the spiritual and energetic nature of them. And I'll show you how astrology is tied into it as well, because a lot of us don't see the connection. I'm here to bridge that gap for y'all. That's what I'm here to do. So I wanted to say that as an aside. But now, that being said, Geez, I got off track. I was talking about that passage of scripture. Oh, and talking about how for a while we've been talking about these things were going to happen. These prophecies are going to happen. They're here. So that, I believe, is the first sign or the tip of the spear of the Most High showing who he is. And remember, in 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, I'm gonna bring that one up. And then I'm gonna hit y'all with the boom. I'm gonna hit y'all with the boom. I'm gonna lower the boom because this one was like a shock to me, y'all. When I asked for verification, I'm gonna show y'all what happened. I'm gonna show y'all what happened when I asked for some verification on it. Let me go here to the book of 2nd Ezra. Y'all hear me read this one a lot. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, okay? Beginning at verse 18 and going down through verse 20. Let's do that. I'm gonna bring that up on the screen. Okay, 2nd Ezra, and this is in the Apocrypha. You're not going to find this if your Bible only has the 66 books. This is from the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 18. And behold, and it said, behold, this is a voice, so you got to read the whole chapter to get the rest of the context. I'm not going to do that tonight. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Okay. Sorry if the mic was doing something weird there. It looks like I hit it in the wrong spot. And it said, behold, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. Who's Zion? Who's been afflicted for how many hundreds of years, beyond 400 years. It's been longer than 400 years. We talk about 400 years. They talk about the 1619 project and all of that. It's been a lot longer than that. Okay. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, verse 20, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. Okay. So verse 18 says, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. Visit. That's physical. That is physical. Some people think that's just spiritual. That's a physical visitation. And will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, y'all been hearing people talk about this, the earth split. You can see it, any social media app that you might use, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. People have been talking about it for a long time. YouTube, Dolores Cannon, this earth split. And it's apparently it happens every so many thousands of years. The earth, it's almost like shedding of skin like a snake. The earth splits and the old vanishes away and the new comes forth. Okay. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The books shall be opened before the firmament, that's the sky, and they shall all see together. All right, let me close that. So we're talking about what I saw in the sky that night and how it shocked the heck out of me. Here is Jupiter, one of the brightest stars, probably one of the 3 brightest stars in the nighttime sky, going extremely dim, like it was going to go out. I just was standing there looking in awe. In fact, if I had been heads up enough, if I weren't so shocked, I may have gotten my camera and zoomed in to record it. And I got a super zoom lens. It'll do like 50x optical and it'll go up to 200x digital. Of course, if I'm zooming that close, I got to put it on a tripod. But I wasn't even thinking because I was too shocked at what I was looking at. I didn't think it was Jupiter. Okay. I did not think that was Jupiter going dim, but it was. So again, my initial thought was luck has run out for somebody. Somebody's blessings are over with. Somebody's abundance is over with. Jupiter is the planet, the energy of abundance as well. Somebody's abundance is over with. Somebody's benevolence is fading. It's over with. But then you got to pay attention to all of the details. What section of the sky is Jupiter in when I'm looking at it? It's in the western sky. The west. Okay? Y'all can probably make what you will of that right now in the comments. It was in the western sky. So that was a subtale in and of itself. The blessings, the abundance, the benevolence, okay? The luck of the West is running out. It's gone. is gone. And where have we seen this before, y'all? Where have we seen this before? You know what? Let me find this in the antiquities, and I'm gonna put it on the screen because then I'm gonna go to the second part of this, and because I asked for clarification.
Lindsay's story.
Okay, Lindsay, we're done. Thank you. I asked for clarification on that, y'all. Let's see, Olive Tree Bible app. No, let's see, Bible study. I asked for clarification on that because I wanted a little bit more detail, and some of y'all can already guess how I got that clarification because I know I got tarot readers that watch me too. So I probably just gave it away. Some of y'all can guess how I got that clarification. Let me go to the opening. I'm looking at Wars of the Jews right now. I want to show y'all something very profound, and this may be the first time we've seen anything like this since 70 AD. Let me go to Wars of the Jews and show y'all coming of Titus to besiege Jerusalem. Where is it? The zealots were freed from Idumeans. Let's see. Vespasian after he had taken Gadara. Conquest slaughter. Let's see. Vespasian. No, let's go back. Coming Titus to besiege Jerusalem. Okay, let's see. Titus marched to Jerusalem was in danger as he was taking the view of the city. Let's see. Let's have a look at something, y'all. Because there was something significant that happened over the temple, over the second temple in Jerusalem, something that they saw in the sky when Titus showed up outside of the walls of Jerusalem with his 3 legions surrounding it. And remember what the Messiah said. He said, when you shall see Jerusalem encompassed by armies, flee to the mountains. He told them that 30 years before it happened. Encompassed means encircled or surrounded. He said, when you shall see Jerusalem encompassed by armies, flee to the mountains. Some people thought that was end times prophecy. For the longest time I did, because of the way it was presented in church when I was younger. But when I read Wars of the Jews, I was like, this is what he was talking about. So this actually happened already. What's up, JoJo? What's up, brother? Let's see. How Titus marched to Jerusalem was in danger. All right, let me see. Titus, last, let's see, the Roman usage, front army, descent, Valley of Thorns. Let's see. Where is that passage? I want to show it to y'all because I can tell y'all, but I can show you better than I can tell you. Let's see. Let me search it really quick, y'all. Give me 1 second. We got a little bit of time here. Let me search it. Wars of the Jews. Let's see. Let's see. Where is this? I'm gonna have to find y'all. I should have bookmarked this. Let me see. March to Jerusalem, how he's in danger. Okay. Tiberius. Let's see. I'm gonna find this, y'all. I'm gonna give myself 2 minutes to scan this and find it. You know what I'll do? I'll search the word temple. Temple. Okay. Let's go to antiquity. No, I don't want an antiquity. It's going to be in wars. Hang on, fam. I'm going to find this. Temple. And that's still in antiquities. Let me skip down to wars. Almost there, y'all. I'm going to find this. I am going to find this. Okay. Road. Led them. Nobody appeared outside the gates. Intercepted his horse. Nope, that's not what I want. Types of, let's see, auxiliaries. All right. Look, I'll tell you what. It's in here because I've read it. But let me tell you what happened. Basically, Titus, the noise that we're fighting, insensate. Let's see. Leave. Let's see. Daily sacrifice. Let me see. Siege of Jerusalem. Daily sacrifice. ended. Okay, let's see. Y'all stand by. That's not what I want. All right, that's not what I want. It's in here, y'all. Oh, this is making me so mad. I should have bookmarked it. Let's see. Where are my bookmarks? Bookmarks. I'm gonna find this, y'all. What was that called? He said, was it host? Let me type in the word host. I'm gonna find this, y'all, because I want to show it to y'all. And I want to get it proper. Host. 22. No, it's in here, y'all. It was right in the beginning of the battle that the deal. Let me see. Sacrifice. All right, let's find this. Is in Wars of the Jews. Okay, it's not showing it to me. It's in here. All right, so let me. I spent too much time on this already, y'all. So let me tell you what happened. Basically, what happened was right before he went to begin his siege of Jerusalem, there was this loud sound, like a mighty rushing wind, so to speak, and it's like they saw 3 apparitions leave. If I remember that correctly, it's in Wars of the Jews, but Titus observed 3 apparitions leave from over the top of the temple. They like went into the sky, and it's like they left from outside of the temple through the top and went. It's like they went back to heaven. They went to the sky, and he looked at it, and that was the last time that they did any sacrifices in the temple. They were like, the spirit's gone. The spirit's gone. So they saw this anomaly in the sky right before the siege began, and that was a bad omen to them that Jerusalem was going to fall. They knew. They were like, uh-oh, the spirit has left us. We done, y'all. We done. So I think that is the last time that we have seen anything like that was recorded. Now, the Wars of the Jews and the Antiquities, not the Antiquities part so much, because some of that is considered a religious book, but the pieces of the Wars of the Jews, that's considered to be history. That is accepted as history. The Wars of the Jews portion of the works of Flavius Josephus, that is accepted as history. So when you see that this Roman general documented seeing this happen, that's documented. It's accepted as history. I'm here to tell y'all now. I got way off track, y'all. I spent way too much time. If this was a standalone video, if this is an on-demand video, I would have cut that whole section out. So I do apologize, and I thank y'all for sitting there while I was trying to find that. But it's in Wars of the Jews. Any of you guys that are avid readers, you'll see it when you get to that part, okay? When they get to the Siege of Jerusalem part, you'll see that. Now, let me get on, because I asked for clarification. Why is Jupiter going dim? Why is it going dim in the western sky? Is what I'm feeling correct? Is this a bad omen that the luck of the West has run out? So what did I do? I went in and I pulled out my tarot deck and I started shuffling. I said, show me. I said, let some cards come out that's going to show me the meaning of what I'm looking at. And y'all, I'm here to tell you, 3 cards came out that were very profound. 3 very profound cards came out, and I'm going to show them to you in just a moment. The first card that came out was the 2 of Pentacles. Now, in tarot, Pentacles is money. It's money, it's material possessions, it's goods, it's tangible things. But in most tarot, most people that read tarot or interpret it will tell you that Pentacles typically has to deal with money and finance. So the first card that came out is the 2 of Pentacles. And I got 2 different decks or whatever. Protection had left. That's right. That's right, Bernadette. The protection had left. Let me tell you what I think this is going to look like, okay? And then I'll get into the comments. I got a Light Seers deck, and then I got the traditional Rider-Waite Smith deck. But this is what the 2 of Pentacles looks like in both these decks. Okay. This is the one that I pulled the first time, but this is the, just so you can see. You see there, it's like a balancing act, okay? A balancing act. Here one, it looks like the sun in a pocket book. Over here, he's got this one, he's got 2 pentacles. So the 2 of pentacles in upright position came out. What does that mean? That to me, in clarifying what I saw in the sky and knowing that Jupiter is the planet of abundance, or the energy of abundance, the energy of wealth. The wealth kind of deals with the second house. And interesting, the 2 of pentacles came out. 2 also, you could look at that as second house. Second house is ruled by Taurus. Okay, Taurus is an earth sign, so that could be Taurus energy as well, if you want to look at it that way. The second house, the 2 of pentacles. Pentacles is money. So there's 2 ways to look at that, but they both point to the same thing: money, material possessions, wealth. Okay. When you got that 2, what you see with the energy of these 2 cards is something being balanced. Okay. So what that means to me with regards to what I saw in the western sky is perhaps a rebalancing of wealth. Y'all been hearing people talk about this for at least 2 years now, with people talking about, I've seen it in the spiritual community. I've seen it in the church and Christian community. I've seen people named prophet this and prophetess that, saying the same exact things that people in the spiritual community are saying. Oracles, seers, tarot readers, whatever, are saying the same things. There's a massive wealth transfer coming. There's a massive redistribution of wealth coming. I've heard economists say the same thing. Okay, something is going to shift with the money. All right. So you got the 2 of pentacles looking like, hey, a guy's trying to balance or rebalance money. Keep in mind, Jupiter, the energy of abundance, went so dim in the sky, it was barely visible. And there were no clouds in the sky. No clouds. The stars right next to it were in their full luster. Jupiter went extremely faint. Okay. The second card that came out was the 5 of pentacles. Y'all see that energy in that card? Very sad. Pentacles, again, is money. 5 is the energy of change. All right. 5 is the energy of change. Now, this is the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. The 5 of pentacles. What is that? That is a church, isn't it? With some broken down people on the outside of it. So 2 things, 2 messages in that card. 2 things came from that for me. One, the 5 of pentacles is a card that represents economic loss of money, loss of finance. So you went from the 2 of pentacles, which is a balancing, to the 5 of pentacles, which is loss. And interestingly enough, in this Rider-Waite-Smith deck, that's a card of also being locked out or blocked out. Right here, same thing. There's a door with a keyhole on it, and there's the key right there on the outside of the door. That's interesting energy in this card. This is from the Light Seers deck. There's a key right there on the outside of the door, but that person, they can't unlock the door. So there is going to be a loss of money that somebody has no control over. That 5 of pentacles is an uncontrollable loss of finance, okay, when it's upright, and that came out in the upright position. But the other thing here, this says to me right here, here's 2 people that are in need, but they locked out of the very place that should be able to help them, which is the church. So when this happens, don't look for the church to help you. That's the energy there. That's the message. The church, that could be something in and of itself. That could also, fives in tarot are the energy of change, but every 5 card is considered a negative card because it's a card of loss, a card of conflict, a card of theft, a card of heartbreak, your broken heart. 5 of Cups is like broken heart. I've lost the relationship or something. Is 5 of Cups. 5 of Pentacles is a loss of money. 5 of Swords is a loss of some sort of mental conflict or argument or something like that. Exchange of words, somebody that's loss of some sort of conflict. And then the 5 of Wands is a physical struggle. Okay, it's a physical struggle, physical conflict. So when you're looking at that right there, that could suggest that, hey, could religion be affected by this? Could the churches be affected by what's coming with this redistribution of wealth? Could that affect the church? That's a little bit of a message there too. But the final card that came out, y'all, and this was the coup de grace for me. That is the King of Wands in reverse. The King of Wands in reverse. Now, wands are fire signs, which are all about action. But the fire signs are also the warriors and the hunters. Aries, the ram, he's a warrior. Okay. Leo, the lion, is a warrior. There's a lion in this card. If you look at it upright, there's a lion in the background. Okay. So you got Leo energy, Aries energy, and Sagittarius energy. Those are the fire signs. They're two warriors. You got a warrior, the ram, a protector, the lion, protector / hunter, the lion, and a traveler, speedy hunter, the Sagittarius energy. So the king is the ruler, right? So when I'm looking at that king, now remember, I asked for clarification on why Jupiter is going dim. I'm going to put it all together for you in a minute. The King of Wands in reverse says that there's going to be an upheaval, possibly the removal of a ruler. Ruler, what type of ruler? More likely than not, the ruler of a powerful warrior country. Powerful warrior leader. King of Wands is a warrior. He's a warrior as well. He's about action, but he's a warrior. He's a warrior king. So when that King of Wands came out in reverse, asking for clarification on why Jupiter was going dim, that tells me that there's some world leader that is going to be toppled. He's going to be removed from office, or worse. I'm going to leave the worst part out of the narrative. Y'all can use your imagination for that. All right. And another thing that they do in tarot is they look at the card that's on the bottom of the deck when they're doing a pull, because the bottom of the deck gives them a sense of the overall energy or the foundation for the read. What came out was the 8 of Swords in reverse. Now, the 8 of Swords upright is a card of feeling like you're trapped. This reverse mirror. If it's upright, it's a card of like feeling like you're trapped in a mental prison. You don't have clarity. You can't see your way. You can't really open your eyes and see what's really real. So you're like in this inner mental turmoil. That's the 8 of Swords upright. But when you look at the 8 of Swords in reverse, that is a card of clarity. You know what? I can see my way now. There's clarity coming. So the overall energy for the description of what was going on with that Jupiter going so dim and these other cards that came out is a revelation. A revelation is coming. Something's going to be revealed that's going to free people from the prison of their minds. Interesting that 5 of Pentacles came out with that, especially when you look at the Rider-Waite Smith deck with the needy being locked out of the church. Being locked out of the church with the 5 of Pentacles. And now clarity coming to free you from the prison of your mind. Y'all know the mission of the Messiah. He said he came to set the captives free, but there's no accounts of him kicking in any prison doors. He came to set them free from the prison of their minds. Those that were captive in their mind, captive to these different world systems, captive to these false doctrines. So now, when I put this all together, what I see that further clarified Jupiter going dim in the western sky is a rebalancing or redistribution of wealth that was going to lead to a loss of wealth or somebody else being locked out. I've been talking about Trading Places for how many weeks now, y'all? The 1983 movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and I forget his co-star's name. Okay. I've been talking about that for how long? For how long, y'all? A redistribution, a rebalancing of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles leading to the 5 of Pentacles, which is a loss of finance, and then a King of Wands in reverse. That says to me something, and then clarity coming. Okay. So that says to me, it's very simple. The luck has run out for some warrior king or some warrior nation in the West. There's going to be a redistribution of wealth that is going to lead to a loss of finance. It's probably going to have that ruler being ousted. That ruler is going to lose favor. That ruler is going to lose favor because of what is going to happen with this finance. That to me says one thing, y'all. A financial crash is coming. And after the financial result of that financial crash is going to be a redistribution and a rebalancing of wealth. And there's going to be okay, we're back. We're back. Somebody didn't want to hear that truth, y'all. Somebody did not want to hear that truth. Let me let my bars fill back up. Let me let the bars fill back up. See that? Somebody didn't want to hear that truth, y'all. You know what? Let me they're messing with my connection here, y'all. See? Yeah. Let me let it fill back up. Okay, we're back. We're back. We got full bars now. See? Somebody didn't want to hear that truth. Somebody did not want to hear that truth, okay? Somebody did not want to hear that truth. That Eight of Swords, this is the overall energy for the clarification of what I saw in the sky. Eight of Swords upright, which is not what it was. Eight of Swords upright is blindfolded. You're being blindfolded, and you're constantly getting further and further trapped in your mind. The Eight of Swords reversed. Oh, I got clarity now. I can see clearly what's happening now. I see exactly what is going on. And if you look at the funny thing with this card is this Eight of Swords. I don't have it in the traditional deck, but in the traditional deck, it's somebody blindfolded that thinks they're surrounded by swords, but the Eight Swords is in a semicircle behind them, and they can't see that all they have to do is just walk forward because they're blindfolded. They can't see that they're really not trapped. That's the funny thing with the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is the illusion of being trapped. Okay? Because when you look at the card, here's a person who doesn't have anything on their face or anything. They're not tied up. They don't have anything in their face, but the mirror image they see is themselves being trapped. And that's not the truth of the situation. That's the Eight of Swords upright. Somebody who cannot even see that they're not really trapped. The whole thing is an illusion. When that Eight of Swords goes in reverse, that illusion is gone. That illusion is gone. So there is an illusion that is leaving, and it's going to happen in rapid fashion. It's going to happen in rapid fashion, y'all. And guess what? Today's April the 20th. Is this the beginning of Taurus season? Hang on a second. April 20th. Yeah, today's the first day of Taurus season. Today's the first day of Taurus season. So interesting that we are now in the first day of Taurus season, which is all about finance, money, possessions, valuables, acquisitions, that sort of thing. We're entering into Taurus season, and we see something like this in the sky, which is clarified by the cards. It did freeze for a moment. It did freeze, Anya. It's back, though. It's back. It's back. Can y'all see me? Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, I'm back on. Yeah, that truth hurts. That truth hurts. But that's what's coming, y'all. That is what's coming. So that was the explanation. That was what I saw in the sky that shocked me. As a recap, okay? Went outside, I'm walking the dog. I look in the western sky, and I can barely see Jupiter, which, when it's visible at night, is one of the brightest stars in the sky. You can usually, the two brightest at that time, unless Venus is, and usually Venus is gone out of the way. By the time Jupiter is in the western sky, Venus is already gone, okay? Usually, by the time Jupiter's in the western sky, Sirius is in the southwestern sky. Okay, and then Jupiter's in the western sky, and Venus, you can't see it or whatever. But Venus right now is not visible in the nighttime sky. It's just doing its normal transit or whatever. But it's about to go in retrograde or something. I heard somebody say, or it's out of retrograde. Something's going to happen where Venus is going to be visible in the early morning hours in the eastern sky. So that Venus just does its thing. It does what it does. But anyway, this ain't Venus. Right now, the two brightest stars in the sky at night are Sirius and Jupiter. And not in any particular order. One of them just shimmers like a diamond, Sirius, and then Jupiter just glows, okay? Glows bright. Jupiter went extremely dim. And it progressively went dim as I was looking at it. And I thought that there was something wrong. I'm like, my eyes are not deceiving me. I look over, I see Sirius. Sirius is still shimmering like a diamond. The stars that are next to Jupiter, they're fine. So there's no clouds in the sky. And Jupiter goes dim, 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 dim. And then it comes back a little bit, but it's not its normal brightness. And I said, that's got to mean something. It's in the western sky. Jupiter is the energy of abundance, wealth, prosperity, luck, all of that things. And when I saw that, I said, somebody in the West has just had their luck run out. Scary time for some, y'all. Scary time for some. Not everybody, though. Not everybody. Remember, there's Two of Pentacles. One goes up, the other one goes down. Same here with the original deck. One goes up, the other goes down. Now that's typically balancing energy, but with what I saw, I have to see this as rebalancing. So a rebalancing, a redistribution of wealth is on the way. Okay, that redistribution of wealth is going to lead to somebody being locked out and somebody losing a whole lot of money. When that wealth is redistributed, somebody's going to lose a whole lot of money, and some King of Wands is going to be ousted. Some King of Wands is going down. That King of Wands came out in the reverse position. So there's a ruler. There's a ruler, and that ruler is going to be in the West because the star said it. The star said it's somebody in the West, and the cards gave me the rest of the information. The cards gave me the rest of the information. So that's what I saw, y'all. That shocked me. It shocked the heck out of me. So when y'all see it happen, oh, and then oddly enough, I turned on Amazon Prime Video and I said, oh, G20 is number 3 in the US. Let me watch G20. It's a Saturday. I'm bored. I ain't got nothing to do. I'll watch G20. And then guess what G20 is talking about? They trying to crash the markets and force everybody on the crypto and everything. I'm like, y'all, you can't make this up. I see this in the sky Friday night. I come in, I pull some tarot cards. The tarot cards give me the rest of the picture. And then on Saturday, I watch G20, and G20 is there in God, I'm sorry if I played spoiler for anybody, but that's what's happening in G20. I didn't give you all the details, okay? But in G20, you got this organization trying to cause a global economic reset. You just can't make this stuff up. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. B Royalty said I watched G20 today. You can't make it up, y'all. You simply cannot make this stuff up. So yeah, that was it, fam. That was it. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and now I can't. I do remember, actually. I do remember. I'll come to that, but let me read some comments first. Let me read some comments, all right? Go back up, y'all. That's all I got. I told y'all this was probably going to be one of my shortest live streams ever. That's all I got. Let me read some comments, and then I'll hit y'all with a little bonus because I like to give y'all some parting gifts. We'll talk about your 7th house tonight. Since we were just talking about Venus. Venus rules over the 7th house. We'll talk about your 7th house. I'm not going to go through all of the 12 houses or anything like that. I just want to just give you some ideas. And those of you that know your natal charts, this may make sense to you. Okay. All right. So let's see what we got here in the comments here. Tora Girl said, yeah, Matt's all dressed up. Impressive. Thank you, Tora Girl. I threw a tie on. I was talking to it. I don't normally like to wear a tie, but I was talking to it tonight. It came off well. Thank you. Let's see. I dream about my old home a lot. I read that one. Let's see. What else we got here? What else we got? Okay. Balaam. Yes, the donkey said nope. That's right. That's right. That's right. Y'all know y'all scriptures, man. Y'all impress me. Y'all impress the heck out of me. Y'all really do. Yeah, Anya. Venus is the brightest star in the sky. Literally, if you ever catch Venus with your naked eye and you've never paid attention to it, it's gonna look like a plane coming at you. But then you're gonna look at it for a minute, and then you're gonna see it's not moving. That's how bright that light is. It looks like the headlight on a plane. Let's see. New info to me too. Yeah, you know that, and that speaks to something. Like Venus, if you look at what Venus represents, it represents love, beauty. Venus is also about abundance too, right? Because Venus rules over the 7th house and Libra, but it also rules over the 2nd house and Taurus. Taurus is about money, finance, that sort of thing. The 2nd house, money, finance, that sort of thing. So Venus rules over luxury, beauty, grace, elegance, love, all of that's all that heart energy. That's Venus. That's Venus. The moon rules over the 4th chakra, and the moon is the ruler of the 4th chakra and the 4th house of home and family. So the moon is ultimately the governor of the emotions. But when you're talking about the emotion of love, that's Venus. When you're talking about the emotion of anger and fury, that's Mars. So that's kind of how that goes. Venus is the brightest star in the sky for a reason. It's beautiful. I got a little video either on TikTok or it's a short on my YouTube channel. I can't remember now because it was a short video, but I was observing Venus change colors, and it was oscillating back and forth between yellow and green. And it's funny because Venus rules over the 7th house of partnerships. Yellow would be masculine energy because it goes with the 3rd chakra, which is the solar plexus or our inner sun. And then green is the color of the heart chakra, which rules over, love and that emotions and all of that stuff. So that 3 + 4 is 7. That's complete, right? Complete unit, complete number. So I just thought it was beautiful how the brightest star in the sky was oscillating when I zoomed in on it between yellow and green. I just thought, God, look, the Most High, the Creator, is amazing. When you look at how the detail that the Most High, the universal I Am presence, the Creator, put into everything that we observe, everything in our experience, including ourselves. You got it, y'all. You got to look at the beauty that is in your natal chart and just give thanks for yourself. Give thanks for how you were made. Give thanks to the Most High for how you were created. You were created beautifully. When you look at the intricate details, I can't tell you the dozens of natal chart readings I've done, and then tied them even to some personal numerology, and tied them to soul contract readings, and just see how everything is beautifully intertwined, and the method to the madness, and why things were, and why you were created the way you were created, and how that ties into your purpose. People who still believe in evolution, that just blows my mind. Like, oh, we don't believe in intelligent design. Okay, all right, well, do you? I ain't here to change your mind, especially not this late in the game. But anyway, yeah, it is beautiful. Venus is the brightest star in the sky. When you hear them talk about bright morning star, there's a couple of gospel songs where they use the lyrics bright and morning star. They're talking about Venus. Venus is the bright morning star. That's what they were talking about. Let's see. I was wondering what it is. It seems it follows the moon. Last week I saw it and knew it wasn't a star. Yep. Y'all know your astrology. And last full moon in Libra, judgment plus that dim Jupiter. Oh, that's a good point, Capri 10. That's a good point. That is a good point. You had that last full. That is a good point. You had a full moon. We coming off a full moon in Libra. That is a great point. Wow, y'all. Yup. Here late watching from the beginning. Okay, Space Self, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I've been feeling this longing for my hometown for a while now, and it's been growing. It looks like I'll be headed back there soon. I feel like I'm starting all over in life. Why is that so many of us, y'all? That has got to be some universal energy out here right now. That's got to be some universal energy of the turning back. The turning back. I know what I was going to do. It wasn't the seventh house. I'll give y'all that anyway, since I mentioned it. It was some prophetic scriptures that I wrote down that talk about that turning back. See, the Most High is so big, and the energy of the cosmos that he rules over, the Lord of hosts, right? Heavenly hosts. The energy of this cosmos that he rules over is so big that when you have these cosmic transits, they create a ripple. It creates a tide. It creates a current in the earth. It's as above, so below. So when you have these movements of the Most High, these energetic movements of the universe, and the Most High is the universe too. It is the ether, all of that. All those terms apply. They all apply. Some people get in their feelings. You're supposed to say God, not the universe. The universe is for you New Age people. God is the universe. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, when these universal transits happen, y'all, these planetary transits happen, these energetic transits happen, they create a ripple. So guess what? If he said through the prophets that he was going to turn back the captivity of Jacob and Israel, of Judah and Israel, and different places of Jerusalem and Israel, all these different ways it's written and spoken in scripture. When he says, I'm going to turn it back in those days, we're in those days now, because guess what? If he's turning that back, that could explain why a lot of us are in this retro energy and this nostalgia for our childhoods. This is why some people, you're seeing them, they look like they're aging backwards. I saw a girl I used to see all the time back in the 1990s, friend of the family. She came into the restaurant that we were eating lunch at Friday. I ain't gonna say her name on here because I don't know if she watched me. I don't know who, but I'm gonna say T. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at T. That could be any name. I looked at her and said, T, you literally, I said, when do you turn 26? She looked at me funny. She started laughing. I said, seriously, when do you turn 26? She was like, thank you so much. She was like, I was having a heavy day. I needed to hear that. I said, I'm not blowing no hot smoke up your butt. I said, you literally look like you did back in the 1990s. You have not aged at all. So there's some of y'all out there, some of us are aging backwards. That's a part of this turning back. Some of us are looking at ourselves in the mirror and like, is this what this age is supposed to look like? I'm just saying, y'all. Some of y'all are doing it, but it's happening. It's a part of this turning back. It's a part of this turning back. Bernadette said the protection had left. Yep, it did. And now you got to wonder what's happening here. I told y'all that King of Wands in reverse, that was scary because that Jupiter's in the western sky. That makes sense, especially with the name brand debacle. They are losing money. Yep. And it ain't going to stop, y'all. It ain't going to stop. There's got to be a rebalancing of the wealth. That is why Jupiter went dim in the western sky. Now, If you look at the universe as a study of opposites, that means if Jupiter's going dim in the western sky, that means it's going to be bright in the eastern sky. I've been telling y'all for years, everything's going back east, including those of us that are from the east that were told we're from Africa, which Africa is in the east, but that ain't what I'm talking about. We are so Mediterranean and we don't even know it because of the demographic makeup of the Mediterranean right now. We are just as Mediterranean as we are American, as we are African, as we are Asian. Y'all know what the original Chinese and Japanese demographic looked like? And what did he say? That was part of the curses of Israel in Deuteronomy 28. He said, though you were great in number, he said, I'm going to make you small among the heathen where I'm going to scatter you. What's a heathen? That ain't trying to diss nobody. That's somebody who doesn't follow, somebody who don't move like you move. If the Most High call him a heathen, he called him a heathen because he's like, they're heathen because they don't move the way you move. That ain't trying to diss nobody. To you, to them, you're a heathen. See how that works? If they're heathen to you, you're a heathen to them. People, we don't need to, it ain't a diss, it's just a word. Look at it like it's a word. But he said, I'm going to make you small among the heathen where I'm going to scatter you. Small meaning, does that mean we ain't great in number? No, it's just that you're scattered. You're scattered. If you take 100 people and concentrate them in a 10 by 10 room, you can't even get 100 people in a 10 by 10 room. Okay? But if you take 100 people and scatter them across 10 square miles, they're small. They're small, especially if there's greater numbers concentrated among them. That's how that works. The universe is all about numbers. It's just simple math, simple numbers, concentrations. So this is the turning back, all right? Let me read the rest of these comments and I'm going to read some scriptures, all right? Okay, did he freeze? Yeah, I did freeze. Yeah, that's right. They took it down. They didn't want to hear that truth, y'all. That's what it was. G20 was a good movie, y'all. If y'all got Amazon Prime Video, check it out. It was very entertaining. Oh, and G20. Let me show you a scripture to cover G20 without playing spoiler. Let me show you a scripture that covers G20 without playing spoiler. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. I love doing this. Because once you see it, once you see it, once you understand what you're looking at, you literally can see God's word everywhere. You can see it everywhere. Let's see. I talked about this. Yeah, right here. Right here. Jeremiah 31. Let me show it to y'all. I did a video talking about was the return of the divine feminine foretold in scripture. I'll put a link in the description box for anybody that wants to see it, okay? Let me show y'all this. Speaking of G20, for those of y'all that saw it, here's your G20 scripture right here. The second part of verse 22, I'll read it anyway. The first part, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Compass. Now, depending on the context, compass can also mean surround in order to protect. It could mean surround in order to attack, or it can mean surround in order to defend. Now, when y'all go and look at G20, I want y'all to call to mind Jeremiah 31 and 22. Because it is it is the overall energy of the movie. I'm telling y'all what's happening out here, man. It's a beautiful thing being here for this transition and watching it happen, y'all. Watching it happen. There's some dark masculine energy that don't want to hold on to power. I mean, that don't want to give up power because it's time for the shift. These things shift. They come and wait. When I said this in my video, was the return of the divine feminine foretold in scripture. I said it. When the age is a feminine sign, the dominant energy in the earth is masculine. When the cosmic age is feminine, the dominant energy on the earth is masculine. That's how it's balanced. Okay. Age of Pisces is a feminine sign. So the dominant energy in the earth during the age of Pisces was masculine energy. But guess what? We're now entering into the age of Aquarius. The cosmic age of Aquarius is a masculine age. So therefore, to balance it, the dominant earth energy in the earth has to be feminine. Y'all watch The Wheel of Time. That's another good one. On Amazon Prime Video. That's not a movie. It is a series. But this is happening. So when you watch G20, return to Jeremiah 31 and 22 and tell me you don't see it. All right. All right. Let's see. So I finished House of David and can't wait for more episodes. Yeah, that was good. That was good. They probably gonna make you wait a year, Lady Dagger status, if we got a year. If they got another year to film. What's up, Fair Use is legendary. What's up, Shalom? She said I watched Bondsman with Kevin Bacon and prayed about it before watching it. It's a lot of meanings in there. Decent series on Prime. Bondsman. Okay, I might have to check that out. Thank you for because I'm always looking for a good series. Thank you. Hosea 46. Yep. Viola Davis. Yeah, she did her thing. Her daughter did her thing too. Her daughter did her thing in there too. And the US president was a black woman. Yeah, well, you know what? So I think what happened was two themes I saw in there. And again, I know I'm playing spoiler a little bit, but I'm sure they filmed that before the 2024 election. So they were probably, and y'all know Hollywood is heavily blue. So they were probably counting on Kamala being, president, just like they did in 2020 or before 2020. They were, is it 2020 or is it 2016? Before 2016, they were doing all of these shows where they had a female president in anticipation. They thought Hillary was going to win or whatever. So that's just kind of how they do. They anticipate. Maybe there's an element of predictive programming in there where they're trying to push the needle, but can't nobody sit in a position of leadership or authority unless God allows them to, whether that's a wicked ruler or a righteous ruler. You have to remember that. Nobody can rule on this planet unless they're allowed to by the creator. Nobody. Nothing. This is what I tell people. Sometimes people get so caught up in world events and what's going on. There's really only two things that happen here: divine will and divine timing. There's nothing that ever happens outside of the will of the divine. Never. If it ain't in the will of the divine, meaning if it ain't in the divine script for this planet, it's not going to happen. All right. Now, if it is in the divine script, then it cannot happen until it is divine timing for it. So our time does not matter. The only time that matters is divine timing. That's it. Divine will and divine timing. If it ain't in those two, it ain't gonna happen. Period. So, but that's the one thing. That's the one thing in there. The other theme was, yeah, maybe they were anticipating Kamala winning the election, but the other part in there was some shades of Tulsi Gabbard in there, because y'all know Tulsi Gabbard was Army as well. So that there was kind of some themes of I saw a little bit of Tulsi Gabbard in there as well. So anyway, yeah, it was a good series. Good series. What else we got here? Everyone like and subscribe. Thank you, Maya. Thank you so much. She said, I agree. So many are looking young, but I think it's those who are staying away from the alcohol and the smokes. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Speak on it. We original. Come on, Hotshot. You already know. And she said, I have to watch G20. Okay, y'all, that's all I got. But what I'm going to do before we go out here is I told y'all I'm going to read a couple of scriptures that I think are in support of this turning back energy that everybody's feeling. Some of this nostalgic energy, some of this Six of Cups energy. When you know. Let me bring it up right now. We're going to do this. And if it's not getting too late, I might do that seventh house thing. I could also hold that off to another, or I could just summarize it really quick. But let's do this, y'all. Let's go. Let's bring up these two of my favorite passages that talk about this turning back. All right. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to jump in here? I read this last week, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. And why do I want to do this, y'all? Because there was a reason for this. And I'm trying to remember it now. I know why. Let me go here. I'm actually going to go to Isaiah chapter 66. I want to show y'all something that I saw just in browsing through the scriptures before a couple days ago. Yeah. Because this may be relative to the sky transit I saw and what I saw with Jupiter. So let me bring this up on the screen. All right, here we go. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 66. I'm going to read through this quickly. Thus saith the Lord, the heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that you will build unto me? And where is my place of rest? For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. So this for all of the people that need to slay 3 red heifers and build a temple. He like, look, I built all of this. What house you gonna build to put me in? Okay. Just note to self there. But y'all make note of that. Y'all make note of that. 1948 state. Y'all make note of that. Okay. Rev 2 and 9 and 3 and 9 crew. Y'all make note of that. Isaiah 66. He said, look, I built this whole realm. What house you gonna build for me? Just that's for y'all. Anyway, let me keep reading. Verse 2 again. For all those things have mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. Who is he talking about? He might be talking about 2 and 9 and 3 and 9, y'all. He might be talking about 1948 state, but I'm gonna keep going because they the people, right? I ain't supposed to be saying that. They the people, right? Let me keep going. Child, please. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. Who is he talking about, y'all? Who is he talking about? I think this is who he talking about right here. I think this is who he talking about right here. Don't get mad. Don't get mad at me. I think this is who he talking about right here. Verse 4, Malachi 1 and 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Okay? That's what he's talking about here. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. Their soul delighteth in it. I will also choose their delusions, and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. Now, there's some crossover here too, into with regards to the ancient Israelites that turn their back. There's some crossover there too. But you cannot dismiss this or separate this from 1948 state, because they're doing that too. Hear the word of the Lord, ye that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, Esau. Let the Lord be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of the Lord that rendereth recompense or payback to his enemies. Before she travailed, before she brought forth, before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who hath heard such a thing? Who have seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? Y'all, why is this ringing 1948 to me? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to birth and not cause to bring forth, saith the Lord? Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb, saith the Lord? Rejoice ye with Jerusalem, the real Jerusalem, and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice with her, all ye that mourn for her. Ye that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breasts of her consolation. So when she eats, y'all gonna eat. Basically, he's saying here, for those of y'all that's riding with her when she was up and riding with her when she was down, y'all when she get topped off, or when she get hit off, y'all gonna get hit off. Okay, all right. When I rebalance or redistribute that wealth, all y'all that was riding with her and that was mourning with her, y'all gonna eat off that too. That's verse 11. Okay. That ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus saith the Lord, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the Gentiles like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, ye shall be borne upon her sides, or carried, okay, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, and you shall be comforted in Jerusalem. And when you see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. I told y'all in Joel chapter 3, when it says, I will plead with them for my people, he wasn't meaning plead like, can y'all please? That means deal with. Okay. Plead in this context means deal with. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord deal with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord of the Most High shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. He basically saying, look, he gonna make the enemies go and declare his glory. Yo, he that dude, man. Everything that was written about him in that book before it's archived, yeah, that's him. That's him. That's him that made that Jupiter go dim in the western sky. He that dude. Verse 20. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, upon horses and in chariots and in litters, and upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of the Lord. Now I got to stop hearing this, because when I read this, when you read a lot of these other prophecies where it says, and the angels shall gather the wheat and put it in the barn, but then the reaper's going to take the tares and bundle them and throw them in the fire. When you read some of these other end times prophecies, y'all, it almost sounds like there's going to be this energetic, angelic, even some people think spaceship or spacecraft or UFO type of chariots that come and pull the scattered ones out of the different lands where they were scattered and place them back. But when you read this, it almost lends to that reversal. What do I mean by reversal? If you think about it, when our ancient ancestors were taken into captivity, they were physically carried into captivity by their conquerors. So the reverse, I told y'all, astrology and the universe is a study of reverses, of a study of opposites, rather. Y'all know that Libra is the peacemaker, Aries is the warrior. That's kind of how that works. Okay. Those are just some Scorpio sacrifices. Taurus ain't sacrificing for nobody. Taurus tends to be stingy, where Scorpio tends to overgive. It's a study of balances, y'all. A study of opposites, a study of balances. So when you take that into mind, pardon me, when you take that in mind, when you look at this, it makes you wonder. It begs the question, if because the ancient ancestors were physically carried away into captivity and physically scattered by invaders, if the reverse of that is the offspring of these same invaders carrying the offspring of the captives that whom were scattered and putting them back where they goes. This almost sounds like the Most High is somehow going to show up, which none of us knows what that's going to look like, but it's almost like he's going to show up and say, now y'all put them back where you took them from. And that's actually very plausible. When you understand how astrology works, when you understand what retrogrades are and why we have retrogrades, when you understand how things get balanced in the cosmos, how things get balanced in a natal chart, how your first house is balanced by your seventh house, when you start looking at things like that, then it definitely kind of lends itself more to this being how the descendants of Jacob, the biblical children of Israel, are going to be returned to the homeland. This almost suggests that those who are the offspring of those who carried them away are going to be the ones who put them back. I'm going to read that again now. Verse 20. And they shall bring all your brethren. They shall bring the Gentiles. Who? The Gentiles. It's spoken right there. They shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations. Meaning, it almost sounds like, okay, he has come down now and he's here, and he says, go get him and bring him back to me. Bring him back and put him right here where you got him from. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations. Remember that dream I told y'all where the queen, the beautiful warrior queen from Kemet. I was a Roman soldier, and this detail of us had to go and take these things that were stolen, take them back to Kemet. Remember that dream I told y'all about? And she was like, thank you for bringing my stuff back. I'm still going to tear that ass up. I'm coming. I'm still coming. Thank you for bringing my stuff back, but I'm still coming. You had it too long. You weren't going to give it back till you saw me back in my power. Now you want to bring me my stuff back? Thank you, but I'm still coming for you. It's all tying together. Everything's connected. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations. Y'all, this is where I get into the zone. This was not planned. This was not planned. I'm telling you how this works, okay? This happens to me sometimes. I just get in the zone, all right? And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, upon horses and in chariots and in litters, and upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Lord, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel unto the house of the Lord. Where else do we see that? I'm gonna jump over here because this was the reference I was gonna show y'all. Okay, where else do we see that? Right here. Where else do we see that? It's right here. Zephaniah 3 and 10. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring my offering. Where do we see that? That's where we see that same energy. Okay. I'm gonna read it one more time. Verse 20. Isaiah 66 and 20. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto the Lord out of all nations, upon horses and in chariots and in litters and upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain. Those are vehicles, y'all. Ain't no swift beast out there right now. These are vehicles, okay? Modern vehicles. To my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith the Most High, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of the Lord, into the house of the Most High. Gotta wonder what that clean vessel means. If that clean vessel is us. Is this why people are all of a sudden undergoing these changes in their what they desire to eat and put in their body anymore? Like, I don't want to eat that anymore. I gotta wonder. All y'all, this is cosmic. This is as cosmic and as spiritual as it is physical. Okay. Number 20, verse 21. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Most High. For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another. Okay, y'all, some of y'all thought I was in the wrong for talking about new moon manifestation, right? And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Most High. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. Now, y'all, when you remember I told y'all about that we had that video I did where I was talking about hell and what it meant in the Old Testament, and the New Testament took this and made this sound like a place of hell. That's it right there. The worm shall die not, neither shall their fire be quenched. This is physical and literal, but he's saying you're gonna go and see the bodies of these men that transgressed against me. Where you gonna see them at? They're gonna be in an open field, rotting in the open air. Who knows? Nobody knows. Where their fire shall not be quenched. The burning of the sun, the burning of any flames from any destruction shall not be quenched, and their worm shall not die not. The worm shall die not. What do worms do? Worms eat rotting flesh. That's what they exist for. They're there to eat decay and return it to the soil to make the soil rich. That's why if you want your garden to be rich, you want to enrich your garden soil. Put some go to the fishing supply store and get you some earthworms or whatever and drop it in that soil. Watch how rich that soil gets and fertile it gets. Y'all. Let me go back to Zephaniah 3. All right. That was not planned. Somebody needed to hear that. Maybe I needed to hear it. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. She obeyed not the voice. She received not correction. She trusted not in the Most High. She drew not near to her power. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones. They gnaw not the bones till the morrow. They eat the flesh and save the bones for later. Her prophets are light and treacherous persons. Her priests have polluted the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law, the universal law. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. They have done violence to the law, the universal law and the natural law. Y'all see that one of my boys sent me an article today that said TRANS athletes are crushing high jump numbers. Are crushing ladies' high jump numbers. That ain't supposed to be. That's doing violence to the natural law. Y'all miss me with any, and y'all don't like that. Take it up with management. I'm just calling it the way I see it. He talking to somebody here. You got to be able to decipher these scriptures to find out who the target audience is. All right. Verse 5. The just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not. But the unjust knoweth no shame. Where's the shame in that? Where's the shame in TRANS doing fistic arts and fighting sports with real women and beating the crap out of them? Where's the ain't no shame in that? Where's the shame? You ain't ashamed of that? I don't even know how I got on this, y'all, but I'm gonna keep going. I have cut off the nations. Their towers are desolate, meaning their military might. I have made their streets waste, that none passeth by. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, that there is no inhabitant. Their cities are destroyed, so that there is no man, and that there is none inhabitant. I said, surely they will fear me. Thou wilt receive instruction, so their dwellings should not be cut off. Howsoever I punish them. But they rose early and corrupted all their doings. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Most High, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. I'm going to show you in Joel chapter 3 where he talked about that too. That I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. King of Wands in reverse. Assemble the nations and pour mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. For then will I turn the people to a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Most High, to serve him with one consent. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, I told y'all, once upon a time, the Atlantic Ocean used to be called the Ethiopic Sea. And a river is just a current in the ocean, okay? Or a current is just a river in the ocean. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offering. In that day shalt thou not be ashamed for all thy doings, wherein thou hast transgressed against me. For then I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. Okay? I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Most High. I think what he's saying here in verse 11 is, I will take away out of the midst of thee them that rejoice in thy pride, and thou shalt no more be haughty because of my holy mountain. I think that's those of our kinfolk who think they can do anything and say anything because of, well, you know, man, I'm an Israelite and da. I've been talking about that for the longest. Y'all drop all that. Y'all drop all that. He's used Israelites and non-Israelites alike. Okay. All right. I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Most High. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity anymore, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. 1948 state is kind of afraid right now. Okay? Just saying, that must not be them. That must not be them. If that was them, they wouldn't be afraid. Okay? That must not be them. Verse 14, sing, O daughter of Zion, shout, O Israel, and be glad and rejoice with all the heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. The power hath taken away thy judgments. He hath cast out thine enemy. Cast them out. Cast them out of where? I'll let y'all figure that out. The King of Israel, even the Most High, is in the midst of thee. Y'all gonna see it show up. I don't know what it's gonna look like. I can't tell you. Okay. With regards to this tarot card pull I did the other night, a lot of people might be wondering, well, what's the time frame? There are tarot readers out there that pull time frame. I'm not a time frame guy, because I just told you there's only divine timing. I don't care about a time frame. I'm not looking at no cards. Listen, I don't knock astrologers. There are a lot of astrologers that do progressed moon readings to tell people, hey, when you turn this age, this event is going to happen in your life. You're going to get married at this age. You're going to have children at this age. I've never been interested in that, so I don't do it. When people come, hey, well, if your astrologer can't do this, then I don't care about that. I'll tell y'all from day one, all I care about is you knowing who you are and what you came here to do. The rest of that time stuff, this time, I don't care about that. Why? Because the scriptures say tomorrow's not promised. It says tomorrow's not promised. For starters, okay? Now, some might argue, well, if it's in your natal chart, then tomorrow's going to come. Some would argue that, and I would understand why they argue it. But again, I don't care about that, because when it's divine timing, it's going to happen. But what happens sometimes is you can torment yourself thinking, okay, well, this said this is going to happen in 3 or 4 years. That's all you're thinking about. You can't live in 3 or 4 years from now. You got to live in a moment. You got to be present. Just be present. Deal with today. The scripture said tomorrow's going to take care of itself. All right. So anyway, I just had to say that. The Lord hath taken away thy judgments. He hath cast out thine enemy. The King of Israel, even the Lord, is in the midst of thee. When? I don't know, but I feel like it's coming. Thou shalt not see evil anymore. Ain't nobody going to be able to harm you no more. In that day it shall be said to Jerusalem, fear thou not, and to Zion, let not thy hand be slack. Meaning, don't let your strength leave you. Don't get weak because of the sight of an enemy. That's what that means. The Lord thy God is in the midst of thee and is mighty. The Lord thy God in the midst of thee is mighty. He will save. He will rejoice over thee with joy. He will rest in his love. He will joy over thee with singing. I will gather them that are sorrowful for the solemn assembly, who are of thee, to whom the reproach of it was a burden. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict you, and I will save her that halted, meaning that person that's lame, weak, and gather her that was driven out. And I will get them praise and fame in every land where they have been put to shame. All right. Where they were calling you the lowly N-word and all this other stuff, or looking down on you, you about to be the okay. Verse 20. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. He didn't say when, right? He just said in the time that I gather you. I told you there's only divine timing. At that time will I bring you again, even in the time that I gather you. For I will make you a name and a praise among all people of the earth. When I turn back your captivity before your eyes, saith the Most High. What does that tell me? That tells me that a champion is going to show up, more than likely from out of the cosmos. All right, and do what he said he's going to do, because he said in Isaiah 55:11, he said, "My word don't return void." Okay, and this is the last reference I'm going to show y'all. Joel chapter 3. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. This is a lot of this nostalgic energy and a lot of this reflection energy y'all are feeling. I told y'all the cosmos don't move on a snap. Everything is gradual. It turns like the hand on a clock. Okay, it moves like the sands in an hourglass. An hourglass doesn't go from full in the top to full in the bottom and empty on the top in a snap. It moves in progression. Okay. So when it starts to move, you start to feel the energy of it. You start to feel the energetic current. This is why a lot of us are now in this nostalgic energy and dreaming about our hometowns and wanting to go back and just, it's weird, y'all. I can't explain it. Like I was in my feels a little bit looking at this walking tour of my old hometown, or my hometown where I was born and raised, and just I was in my feels a little bit, because with it brought up the memories of us leaving there when I was younger. And I'm like, man, I'm all my friends that I went to school with, or I'm leaving them behind, and my cousins, and I'm going to this place. I don't know anybody. And man, it's just me and my brothers, you know? And my mother used to be like, well, it's enough of y'all. You'll get by. Play with your brother. Play with your brothers. It's enough of y'all here. We had a troop at home, a whole troop. Anyway. Now we'll have a selection from the Talbot children. I used to hate to hear that in church, y'all. We're going to have an A and B selection from the Talbot children. I'd be like, A and B? My mother would be like, shut your mouth, boy. A and B? We got to sing 2 songs, mommy? I don't even want to sing one. Anyway, here we go, y'all. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, for whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. You hear this theme again, parted my land. All these fake borders that they draw with a pencil in a boardroom and say, okay, this is your land over here. Oh, you know what? I know we had an agreement in 1967, but we're moving those borders, and now this is, go sit down. Anyway, verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a payback? And if you pay me back, swiftly and speedily will I return your payback upon your own head, like James Brown in The Big Payback. Sold me out, chicken change. Yes, you did. Told me my woman had it all arranged. You held me down, and that's the fact. And now you punk. You better get ready for the big payback. Ah! All right, y'all, let me stop tripping. Swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head, because you have taken my silver and my gold. You have taken my silver and my gold. Redistribution. And carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold into the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their border. When did 1948 state, when did Rev 209 and 309 ever get sold to anybody? Y'all put that in the comments if you know, because I don't know. I mean, can I hit that historical event? I need to know when they ever got sold to some Grecians so they could be removed far from their border. Verse 7, behold, I will raise them out of the place where you've sold them, and will return your recompense or your repayment upon your own head. You better get ready for the big payback. Verse 8, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah. Somebody about to be working for somebody. That's the flip. That's the flip. That's the flip. That's that Eddie Murphy Trading Places. That's somebody getting locked out. You make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long. Anyway, different context, but it's all good. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord hath spoken it. Just know, y'all. Just know I ain't gonna be involved in none of them sales. I'm not interested. Anyway, I'm not gonna be in that. Y'all do what y'all got to do. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare for war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the children of war draw near. Let them come up. The King of Wands in reverse. Beat your plowshares into swords, your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. Now, this is the Most High talking ish. He calling them out. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves round together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, or there cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. I told y'all they was going to come for y'all when you get put back in your homeland. That valley Jehoshaphat is over there in the Mediterranean. I ain't going to say where. Y'all know where it is. Go look it up. I told you that's when that's what that's going to look like. The Armageddon. Ain't nobody going for 1948 state. They coming for y'all when y'all get put back. Like who they think they are. It's right here. It's right here. We're at the end of the movie. We're at the end of the series. Verse 13, put you in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. He talking trash. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. I wouldn't have believed that unless I saw Jupiter, which is a star. The planets, another name for the planets, are wandering stars. I wouldn't have believed that unless I saw Jupiter with my own eyes go dim. The sun, verse 15, the sun and the moon shall be darkened. The stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So shall you know that I am the Most High. It wouldn't say I am the Lord your God. It would say Yahweh, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, meaning set apart again, preserved again for who I preserved it for from the beginning. And there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. Who's a stranger? Stranger's a foreigner. Stranger, when we broke that down however many lessons ago, stranger means foreigner, okay? In the concordance, a foreigner. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine. For all y'all to say, oh, ain't no way we can be from over there. Those mountains are too brown. I told you all it takes is the rainfall being gone from a place for how long before it turns from green to brown? Rain. That's all it takes. The earth needs rain to be green. If there's no green, the earth is brown. Okay? And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk. All kind of cattle, right? And all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters. See how many dry rivers are over there? Look at some of them aerial tours and see how many dry riverbeds are in that quote unquote Judean desert. How many dry riverbeds are there? And all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation. Which Egypt? I keep telling y'all, man, the light went out in the west. According to a lot of people, especially when you look at some of these documentaries about the Grand Canyon, and look at some of these videos where they talk about these different energetic portals around the earth and how you could go from one point to another by going through the portals. I got a video here. I'm gonna show y'all before the end. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Edom. I told y'all, the West got to rest. It's been too much going on over here. The West has got to rest. For the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Whose land? Who was here when Columbus got here? All of this stuff is right here, y'all. The problem is too many of these prosperity pastors going around this and just telling you keep giving and you're going to be blessed, right? But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. Generation to generation, meaning lifetime to lifetime. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. That's it. I'm going to show y'all this video real quick. Because people say, well, no, Egypt can't be over here because it's over there, and Egypt can't be over there because it's over here. Why can't it be both? Watch this. Watch this. Why can't it be both? Watch this. Watch this and then tell me why it can't be both. Or answer that question.
More than 3,554 gates.
All right.
That you on our planet, we have more than
2025 isn't just another.
On our planet, we have more than 3,554 gates that you can travel from one point to another point in a few seconds. All these gates are on ley lines. They are the magnetic field lines from our planet. From these 3,454 gates, there was 12,000 years ago all open. But they have closed them in 3026 before Christ. They have closed all the gates. And why did they have closed the gates? It was the last days that the gods was staying on our planet and was going away. And when they was going away, they have closed all these gates. And all these gates today, they are under big temples like we know, like Giza, Angkor Wat, Stone Age, Avebury, and so on. Under these ancient temples are old accesses to these gates. So the last gates was open on our planet was the gates in Mexico. On different temples in Mexico, we have gates that was not still open after 3026 BC. But on the moment when the reptilians have taken over our planet, the Violet Masters have closed the last gates what was open.
All of those ancient highlands and different stepped temples and pyramids and y'all. I look. I'm looking at where's this thing at? I'm looking at the Baha'i Garden in Haifa. A little bit different now, y'all. I saw something in that made me like, whoa. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on one second. I'm gonna show y'all something with that, and then we're gonna get up out of here. I thank y'all for being here tonight. I could have ended this video in an hour 15 minutes, but then some of y'all might have been throwing rocks at the screen because you're like, Matt, we used to you giving us a little bit more time, and you ain't been here in a minute, so you gotta do better, Matt. So to avoid that, I was like, nah, real talk, y'all. I got in the zone. It just happens sometimes. Let me find this video real quick. What's the title of this video here? Hang on a sec, y'all. Where is it? Haifa Today, Unforgettable Walk. All right, let me show y'all 2 minutes of this under fair use here. Let's see. File, new window, YouTube. Okay, let me show y'all this real quick. I'm gonna share this to the screen.
Before I was preventing migraine with Qulipta, it was hard.
Y'all, they be trying to plant little stuff in your head with these ads, y'all. I don't deal with these ads because I know what's up with them. I try to blank them ads out as soon as I get the chance with certain ones. All right, let me share this to the screen. This will be the last thing, y'all, and then we'll wrap it up here. One of my favorite channels here, Relaxing Walker, showing this under fair use. I'm just going to show the first 2 minutes of this. I want y'all to see this real quick. This is Haifa, Israel, right? Now, y'all paid attention to the different city or the different location places in that last little clip I showed y'all. One of them said Jerusalem, or these ancient stargates. But watch this. And then he told you what types of structures you could tell where they were because they would build temples, aka churches as well, on top of some of these stargates. So underneath them were, some of these ancient stargates that they closed. But y'all watch this real quick. I'm only going to show 2 minutes of this. Now let me pause right there. That is an element of sacred geometry right there. Y'all can go look up that eight-pointed star. That's an 8-pointed star. And I'm not saying that it's evil. I'm not saying it's evil. I'm not saying good. It's good. Sacred geometry is used to harness certain universal energies. That's what they use it for. Those symbols harness energies. That's why they're there. And that's why they got that sitting there in water. This is an 8-pointed star inside of a bigger 8-pointed star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Y'all go Google spiritual meaning of the 8-pointed star, or type in sacred geometry 8-pointed star and then see what it means. All right. I'm not going to break that down, but I wanted y'all to see that. None of this stuff is a coincidence. I mean, look at how it's set up there. You got these lines, the street going straight out to the sea. You got water fountains around here. Water is spiritual. Pay attention to this stuff. Here we go. Pause. You see that? See that? It's stepped. It almost, I mean, I know it's in the side of a mountain. It's definitely in the side of a mountain, but it's stepped almost like those ancient pyramids in South America. So I just wanted y'all to see that. There's that 8-pointed star inside of the 8-pointed star. And as you can see, they got it beautifully manicured, but there's a lot of sacred geometry in there. And again, showing this under fair use. I'm only going a couple, maybe 30 more seconds. Let me see if I can skip ahead here. Water. You got fountains. Water is spiritual. Water is spiritual. Okay, I think he's leaving now. Let's see if he turns around and shows you the. All right, so that's that. All right. Let's see if I go here. Let's go to Earth, Google Earth, and maybe get another look at it. Let's see. Do I want to do Google Earth here? Let's see. And as you can see how that goes, it just goes up. It builds up, goes up, goes up, goes up, and then you got a temple sitting right on the top. So it's kind of like what he was saying in that video there, kind of like what he was saying. But anyway, just wanted to show y'all that stuff is it's very, very interesting, y'all. Very interesting how this stuff works. So anyway, that's all I got, family. I'm gonna read some final comments and then we're gonna get up out of here. Let's see what we got here. All right, let's see, because I'm way down in the comments. Y'all been hitting them up over there. Let's see. All right, let's see what we got here, family. Let's see. Original people, I think that was the last one I saw. Still, Lady Dagger Titus, they still chasing waterfalls. That's funny. Be anxious for nothing. They acting like they rubbing it in our face when we about to inherit everything. Boom. They don't want no ham anyway. The man-made dams will fall. Yup. So many with their hams today. Shaking my head. I try not to judge, but don't judge me. And you still eat swine. Don't think clearly. Yeah, listen. It ain't, you know. So, what did the Messiah say on that? He said it's not what goes into the it's not what goes into the man that defiles him, but what comes out. So that was his answer to people. That's why I don't really get caught up in what somebody eats. I'm like, do you? We all at different frequencies. We all at different vibrational frequencies. I can't judge a man for eating ham or sausage or bacon or swine when I used to eat it and enjoy it. You know, I don't anymore. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like the smell of it anymore. Like I used to eat country ham back in the day. And then when I smelled I went to breakfast with some of my boys one day and one of them ordered country ham. And I was like, I used to eat that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, to each his own. I ain't judging for that. Again, if the Messiah didn't judge him for it, I ain't going to do it. He was like, look, it's not what goes into a man that comes out, that defiles him, but what comes out of him. So I'm going to roll with that. She's, yes, I remember that dream. Okay. Let's see. Yes, that's what I'm waiting on. The gathering. Yep. I'm in Arizona listening to the mountains and the wind. Yeah. Yeah. I hear a lot about Sedona, fair use. I hear a lot about that. I hear a lot about Sedona. I went out there one year, but we didn't stay around long enough for me to really see anything. We were trying to get to the Grand Canyon, but the snow and everything made it kind of impassable to get up there. So we were out there visiting the in-laws, and they were like, y'all, this just ain't a good time to try to get to the Grand Canyon. So we came up here to Sedona. We went up there for a day, then turned around, half a day, then turned around and went back to Phoenix. But yeah, reciting speeches. That's right. Singing Matt. Appreciate the hot shot. Karma, baby. Through my phone when you said, well, that's all I got, family. Okay, JoJo. See what I'm saying? I got to give y'all money's worth, man. Not money's worth because nobody paying, but I'm just saying. I got to give y'all's worth because I'm only like y'all. I think, what was this? Was last Monday the last time I went live? Might have been last Monday. So I gotta make up for it when I'm in here, y'all. I gotta give y'all at least 2 hours, but I don't plan on 2 hours. Literally, y'all, when I look at my notes on average, I'm like, all right, I should be able to get this done in about an hour, 15 minutes. If I had stuck straight to the script, I would have been done in an hour, 15 minutes, y'all. But that Isaiah 66, that was totally off script. That wasn't even in my notes. That was not in my notes. That had to be said, had to be read. I'm going to go back and look at it when this video is over because y'all know I like to go back and see what I need to add to the description box, like what videos. I already know I got to put that video in there about the what's the divine return of the divine feminine prophesied in scripture. I'll put that in there. But yeah, that's Jeremiah 31:22. That's G20. That's Viola Davis in G20. That is the women in the good ones in Wheel of Time, because there's some wicked ones in there doing some wicked things too. But that just goes to show you how the world works, y'all. It's balanced. Whether you like it or not, there's a balance of light and dark. Everything in the universe has to be balanced, okay? So if there's two dark people in the world, there's either one light person with enough light power to balance out or cancel out that darkness, or there's two equal, light to the dark. Everything's balanced in the universe. And it ain't always about the numbers, it's about frequency, okay? That's why he said one can chase 1,000 and two can put 10,000 to a flight. The frequency is so high in that one or that two that they can route 10,000 lower vibrational ones. That's how that works. That's how it works. Everything is balanced in the universe. If you got two chasing 10,000, that means these two, their combined frequency is so high that 10,000 low vibrational MFs cannot stand before them. That's how that works. All right. Who are the Sabians in your opinion? You know who I think the Sabians are, sir? See, I've gotten that. I did a Joel chapter 3 video in the past, and I've had somebody ask me that question. Who are the Sabians, Matt? I personally think that the Sabians, Sabian is sort of a play on, if you want to hear something close, who was the woman that came to see King Solomon back in the day? It was the Queen of where? Queen of Sheba. Shaba. Remember, the English language hides some things, moves some things around. I think they are descendants of Ishmael. The real ones, not these people. These people today that say they're Ishmaelites, they're about as Ishmaelite as the people today that say they're Israelites, if you know what I'm talking about. They're one and the same. The original, I showed y'all that video clip, that snippet of what was it called? Ancient Palestine, Secrets of the Desert. Showed y'all what the ancient offspring of Ishmael looked like. Ishmael, remember, Ishmael and Isaac were brothers. So if their daddy was brown skinned with nappy hair, that means they were brown skinned with nappy hair. Let's see. Secrets of the Desert, Ancient Palestine. Right here. Let me bring this up. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'm gonna pause it when it gets there. You know, I'll just show 2 minutes. Not even 2 minutes, because it's only 2 minutes. Let me share this. These I think are the Sabians. These are who I think the Sabians are. Remember, their stories were stolen from them too. Their stories were stolen from them too. You got people running around dominating that whole Saudi peninsula, Sinai Peninsula. You got people dominating that whole thing that's saying that they're the offspring of Ishmael. And while, yeah, they might have some blood, they might have some of that blood in them too. Because listen, the Greeks went through there and just they did a number on everybody up in there. The Greeks did a number on everybody. The Romans and the Greeks, that was part. Y'all got to understand something while I'm bringing this up on the screen. That was part of their military strategy back in the day. They would kill the fighters and then they would take the women and seed them up. They would seed the women up to change the demographics of the region. Hey, you know what? We killed their daddies, their granddaddies, their uncles. Now we're the new daddies. We're going to sleep with the women. The women are going to have our babies. And basically, we're leaving our footprint over there in these lands now. That's how they get lighter and lighter and the hair gets straighter and straighter. That was part of the military strategy back in the day. Y'all can look that up. Y'all can look that up. Alexander the Macedonian, he did that. He did that. Like when he went through, he told his generals, his top officers, yeah, they got some, listen, man, y'all, they got some baddies in this land. Y'all knock up all the ones y'all want. We got to reseed this with our children. And this is how we'll own this land forever. That's how they did it. It was part of military strategy. It sucks. But this is why, guys, this is why I'm like, look, man, look, I got less respect for a man that is afraid to defend his home. You can defend your home with your life, bro. You call him 5-0 for what? You tell 5-0 to bring the bat, tell him to bring the coroner with him. That's how you do that. That's just in your blood. That's in your DNA because of what happened way back in the day. They kill the men and they impregnate the women to change the demographics. That's how they do it. This is what these are who I think the Sabians are right here. This is who I think the Sabians are.
There's two tribes here, the Tarabina tribe.
This guy right here.
From this side.
The guy in the white. That's who I think the Sabians are. They've been quiet. Their story's untold now because of who's dominating over there.
My father was here. My grandfather was here. My mother was, when she was young, she was here.
See, we got a critical enough mass amongst ourselves to where we can still at least combat the lies about who we are and who we were. Okay. But they're just as scattered as we are, but they don't have the footprint that we have. They don't have the power base that we have to be able to tell their stories. They don't. So I think they're who the Sabians are. That's just me. I could be wrong. I ain't never afraid to be wrong, y'all. I ain't gonna be wrong to somebody's detriment where it could affect their life or their health, because I don't play that. But when it comes to me giving my opinion, I ain't afraid to be wrong. I'm not. If I'm wrong, I'll come back and admit, hey, look, I was wrong. I'm a man. My daddy raised me like that. I'm a whole man. Huh? I ain't no half a man. I ain't 3/4. I ain't 1/4. I'm a whole man. You're looking at a whole man on the screen. I'm not scared to be wrong. I'm not. But I speak on what I know, or I speak on what to me is logical. Okay. But if I'm wrong, I'll come back and tell you like a man, yo, I was wrong. I ain't got no ego like that. I don't. It is what it is. All right. So yeah. Yeah, Sir C, I hope I answered your question. All right, y'all, listen, I don't see any more comments out here, so this is a good place for me to wrap it up. Yo, listen, y'all. Thank y'all. I know it's been a minute since I've been on here, but I told y'all back around the beginning of the year that I felt like the wine presses were slowing down, if you know what I mean. I told y'all I'm just a vessel. I'm just a vessel. The Most High pours the wine into me, I pour it out to y'all. Okay. I hope y'all hope y'all enjoyed the wine tonight. I told y'all at the beginning of the year, I felt like it was slowing down a little bit, and I only drop content when it comes through me. Okay. I don't look for content to create and say, okay, what can I put on? I don't move like that. You know, I'm working on some publications right now. I haven't published a book in 6 years now, so I'm long overdue. That's what my primary stick is right now. Okay, I'm doing that, and I'm trying to do some landscaping and fight back the weeds and stuff, y'all. This, you know, and trying to grow some food in the garden. I got a lot of things I'm doing right now, and then I still run around and help people all the time. That hasn't slowed down from the time people say, "Oh wait, oh Matt ain't in corporate America no more." Hey Matt, I need you to. So there's that. So trying to balance all of that out, family. But yeah. So I don't know when I'm gonna be back on here, but y'all can best believe that when something is poured into me, I'm gonna pour it out to y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed the content tonight. If you have not done so already, please tap that like button on your way out. And I'm gonna wrap this video up like I do. Thank you, Ali Rule. Thank you, Ali Rule. Thank you for being here tonight. Lady Dagger Status. Everybody, if I missed your name, charge it to my head and not my heart, okay? Because I love each and every one of y'all out here. Listen, y'all, it's never too late to show love. Never. If you got breath in your body, you can tell somebody you love them, but it's better to show them. Because people say they love people all the time and don't never show it. Okay. It's lip service, you know. Listen, it ain't never too late to show somebody love. All right. Never too late to do that. So tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You have to show it, right? Love is a verb. It is a noun as well, but when we focus on the verb, the noun takes care of itself. And last but not least, family, authenticity. Authenticity. Operate in your truest self, okay? Be true to yourself. Operating in 100% authenticity is the only way you're going to come online with your higher self. What you're looking at on the screen is just a fraction of Matthew. Matthew exists in another realm, the greater part of me. All right, the 100% authentic part of me. So I have to, in order for me to come into alignment with that, I have to be authentic. And then I will be the authentic version of Matthew that exists in all the realms. All right. We're multidimensional beings, y'all. This is why when you dream at night, you do the same thing on the dreamscape that you would do in real life. You do. I will give y'all some details, but you know, y'all don't need to know all of that. But I'm the same me on the dreamscape that I am in real life. And sometimes I wake up, I'm like, that was the dreamscape. That was the opportunity to do something that I wouldn't do in real life. But guess what? Who I am in real life is who I am on the dreamscape. So if I'm gonna do the right thing here in the real life, I'm gonna do the right thing on the dreamscape. That's how that works, y'all. You're not really dreaming. You're somewhere else doing something else. You're observing yourself from another perspective. But you're in that reality. That dream world is just as real as this physical realm. Your waking world, your dream world is just as real as your waking world. It is, okay? Don't let anybody tell you different. So be authentic, family. Be authentic, okay? Be you. Be you. Nobody else can be you, and you can't really be anybody else. Be your true 100% authentic self, and that's the way that you'll reach your destiny. If you do not fulfill your destiny, you got to rinse, repeat. You got to try it again. There's no such thing as a no child left behind in the cosmos. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're going to be retrograde. This is what I've noticed since I've been a natal chart reader. This is what I've noticed about people that have a north node that is in retrograde. When I see a retrograde on somebody's north node, that tells me that they're back to do something that they didn't get right the last time. Don't be that. Don't let your next lifetime, don't have an R next to your north node sign in your next lifetime. That means that you didn't finish and you got to come back in and do it again. Don't let that be you. All right, family. Let's see. Final comments. Thank you. Y'all are so welcome. Thank y'all for being here tonight. It's rich with y'all. If y'all ain't here, what good is it? I can talk to myself in the mirror, right? Y'all got to be here. Thank y'all. Bernadette said, thank you for another great live, Matt. You're welcome, Bernadette. B Royalty, thank you again. Fair use is legendary. These fools' money will perish with. You saw it. Jupiter went dark in the western sky. That's very telling. Okay. Hotshot said that straight deep on that dream world tip. You're very welcome, man. That's facts. I love y'all, man. Listen, y'all hit that like button for me on the way out. And if you're new to the channel and you like being entertained, educated, uplifted, and inspired, hit that subscribe button and make sure your notification bell is set to all so you'll be notified when I drop new content or when I go live. All right, family. That's all I got, y'all. I love y'all. Peace.